Alright, so I just got done uploading the Tugwheel deck, and during that I played a game, and even though I won it, I clearly made a mistake, and it's against a good deck that I have built myself. The deck can be very nasty, so I really want to maybe showcase that and maybe show what could happen if you get impatient or if you happen to just feel like you're going to be behind in the game and how that can alter decision making. It may not be the best. So I'm playing Glarb for right now, and then I'm going against Raph and Mikey Troublemakers, and don't let it fool you. Like, Raph and Mikey, like, even though it costs 7, basically all you do is you fill your deck with ramp, you get it out, and it's not a Proteus staff, but it's kind of like it, into where the way that I have mine built is I just have Blightsteel Colossus, and you can kind of win that way as long as the board stays clear. But I mean, it ramps so fast. So when I saw this, I knew my hand was good enough to keep. I have Diabolic Intent, half of the combo, an Impulse to dig for another land, a Talisman, and Crop Rotation, which I wasn't going to use. So I decided to keep this hand, and he is going first. I kind of slump a little bit when I realize that he's going first. I do like the fact that he has no play. So I'm just going to kind of do the same play he does. And I do draw a Talisman, which is kind of a sigh of relief because I can get the 2 blue and black needed. So I play my land and just pass for right now. Once he starts fetching and like casting stuff though, this deck puts you on a very tough clock. So he's got the Nature's Lore. I decide to sack mine. Catacombs just to get the Triome. But yeah, the ramp has started. So here's where I made the mistake. So I got a Mox Diamond. He's playing green and red, 2 colors that can interact with your artifacts. That might be why I made this mistake. So it might not have been a mistake, but in my opinion it was. Get my Tropical Island. Now, I could have played Impulse, the Talisman, or the Wishclaw Talisman. I feel like I should have played the Talisman and just gotten it out of the way. However, I decide to Impulse, thinking I'm gonna hit a land. What could go wrong, right? Well, no land, and typically these Raph and Mikey decks don't play a lot of artifacts, so that's not gonna work. The Gush, I mean, I guess it could work, but then that's a tap land. Yeah, I don't know. Got another Talisman or just a 3 visits. And yeah, I think that I should have just played the Talisman after I looked at the Impulse. I could have played this Talisman and then maybe got out the Wishclaw Talisman, had enough mana to activate it to get the Thassa, and could have done it that way. But I grab Impulse and 3 visits, and he's already got 4 mana on turn 3, so he's already 1 mana ahead. He's got a Signet, and then he starts sifting through his deck. So he pitches... Is that just discard a card? So... Okay, fights target creature and opponent controls. So that's just one way to get rid of Glarb if he has something else. So yeah, he just ditched a card he didn't need to get 2 more cards. So he's way ahead. So I mean, I skipped ahead there a little bit, but Elvish Spirit Guide, and then tapping a Tropical Island. I decide it doesn't seem like he's going to have any artifact removal. So at this point, I have to get out another Talisman and then play the Wishclaw Talisman. It's not jumping ahead. There we go. And then it's leaving myself very vulnerable when I could have, done it a little bit, a turn faster. And look at all that mana. This thing basically swings in and can win the game on a spot, especially when you're in a position like me setting up. And he goes and gets a creature. When he plays Worldly Tutor, honestly, I do kind of breathe a sigh of relief, just due to the fact that if he's got that creature, then he's not going to do a one creature kill type deal, even though he probably does have it in the deck. But he grabs a Perforos that isn't a creature. Other creatures have haste. Put a creature card or artifact creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Huh. Actually, yeah, he probably... he could have probably won this game, but he just got impatient. But it's not necessarily true, because I got a Talisman, I got a Mox Diamond, so instead of getting Thassa's Oracle, I decided to get Winter Orb, giving him a Talisman so he could actually tutor for another creature to get out. And then if you know what I mean, like, he wasn't out of this. But I go ahead, I play the Winter Orb, and he says he'll pass on that, which I don't know. I feel like that's a game that he could have won. I was a little impatient, and then I got a little bit scared because I was falling behind, and instead of trying to grab something, I grabbed the Winter Orb, and it ended up winning me the game. So never underestimate an opponent to kind of give you a game. When I look at it, like, if he would have untapped with all that mana, I think it could have been extremely bad. He was going to overwhelm the board next turn with, like, Raph and Mikey, get another creature out, and then if it wasn't lethal there, he could have Perforos and Wishclaw Talisman. He just had so many options, and he kind of... I wasn't out of it. There's, with the Winter Orb, I could untap to get maybe a land and Mox Diamond, 3 visits, get the Wishclaw back, or play Glarb, Diabolic Intent. I did have a crop rotation as well. Probably wasn't going to use that, though. But yeah, I won a game that I probably, I might have had a chance to win that game. But it was still up in the air.